Busting the glass ceiling. Where have you been putting a cap on your reality? This is kind of a strange concept. Some of you may get it right off the bat, and other views may need a little bit more information. Glass ceilings are typically talked about in the workforce, and usually they're applied to women. So basically, women can only get so far in the business world before they hit the glass ceiling, and that's as far as they're ever going to get. It is a cap on their reality, on their earning potential, on how far they can go in leadership roles. It is kind of like a stopping point, the ultimate finish line. Before you know it, you're done and there's nowhere else to go. What I'm inviting you to actually look at is where you've done this to yourself in all areas of your life and your living. So not just in the business world, if you're a woman where you've hit a glass ceiling, but where have you put your own glass ceiling on your life, your money, your living, your body, your relationships? So before you know it, your life isn't big and expansive. It's something that has a stop to it. It has a finish line. It has a cap where you can't go past it. Now, the strange thing with these glass ceilings is they're not a solid thing. You can actually see past it. They're glass, they're see-through. So while you've hit this ceiling that you can't get beyond, there's an energetic barrier. There's kind of this resistance that you run into where you can't go further, yet you can see past it. So you know there's more possible out there. You know there's something bigger for you with whatever area of your life you're looking at, but because there's that ceiling there, you're hitting resistance and you can't have access to that bigger target or that bigger reach in the world. So how do you know if you're at a glass ceiling? Well, if you have a cap on your money, you've been trying to accrue more wealth, and before you know it, you've hit this finish line. There's an amount in your bank that you can't get past. There's an amount of monthly earning that you can't seem to go beyond. If you're in your business and things are feeling a little stagnant, a little stuck, if there's something you've been desiring to create and putting a lot of energy into it, but it doesn't seem to be taking off, or it's hit a stagnation or a plateau, you may be at a glass ceiling. If your relationship's feeling more on autopilot these days and you've lost the spark and the connection and that creative edge to it, you may be at a glass ceiling there too. And of course, with your body, we've all been there where we wanted to change things with our body, our movement, our fluidity with it, our health, our wellness, and our weight. That's a big one for a lot of us. Being able to look at where you've hit a point where your body is not changing, it's stuck. That's another example of knowing that you're at a glass ceiling. So what creates the glass ceiling? Well, glass ceilings are based off of points of view that we have. Whether those points of view are ours or something that we bought or have been given, that's a totally different story. But it's our alignment with those points of view and sometimes our reaction to it, our fight against it, that creates that energetic barrier for moving beyond it. Where have you put a cap on your life? On your living, on your money, on your body, on your relationships, where you get to peer at possibilities, and never get to have them. That is an example of a glass ceiling. I'm doing an advanced telecall coming up at the end of this month, all about glass ceilings, busting through them. It's a bold choice. It's a bold adventure that we're going to be going on. A lot of times these glass ceilings are there, and what we end up doing is we end up bopping our head up against them constantly. Doesn't really create a lot and creates a lot of frustration. Or we just give up and we peer at our life through the glass ceiling. We fantasize about it. We want to play with it. We'll go off into airy fairyland, but we never get to the point where we're willing to have it. This telecall is going to look at that energetic barrier, those caps that we've put on, and actually look at what's required to change it. We have the ability to alchemize just by our being. We have the ability to change things just by being present with something. And for me, it's not about putting force or a push on it, but there's a little bit of a aggressive presence. It kind of feels a little bit forceful energetically, where you can be with something with such intensity, make the demand that whatever this is, it's not stopping. You're going to continue to move forward. And what that presence does with those glass ceilings is it starts to break it down. Now, we all know quantum physics, where it's saying the walls in our reality actually aren't solid. It's just the molecules clanging together at a different rate. They appear solid. What if your limitations were that way? What if these glass ceilings were that way too? What presence can we start to be? And what pressure can we start to put on those glass ceilings by way of choices, of different questions we can ask? And really at looking at the underlying points of view that we have that keep us locked into alignment with that glass ceiling and the resistance and need to fight it. That doesn't create either. I invite you onto this telecall where we're going to look about being bold and moving beyond any and all caps that you have so you actually get to have the life that you desire and in all areas. You may notice you may move really quickly in one area and the other one stops itself. For me personally, my business is taking off. My book just won its award. I've been playing with this idea of this glass ceiling for a long time in business with that book in particular. Whenever there's a plateau, I get really present with it. I look at the barrier, I look at the points of view, I have that alchemizing ability, and before I know it, something big and juicy comes along, and off we go again. What I have noticed is there are other areas of my life where I'm not applying that much aggressive presence to get the pressure to change it. This is part of the telecall that we're going to be digging into. Where do you have ease with this? Where have you done it before? And now where could you expand it into all areas of your life and your living so you can continue to move forward spherically in all directions? Now, this is an advanced call. I'm going to have bars as a prerequisite because I want to be able to dig in and go quickly. Lots of clearing with those points of view and a lot of creation questions. What is your true life? Where would you like to go into the future? And what is the path you've been trying to take that may not only not be true for you, but where is it true for you, but there's this energetic glass ceiling that you haven't been able or willing to bust through?